Yeah, hello.
Good evening, Bridgehaugh Park, and welcome to tonight's matchup between Stirling Wolves and Southerm Knights. Tonight's match here is likely to be season-defining for both teams in a penultimate weekend.
Very good evening to you. Welcome to Bridgehaugh, the home of Stirling Wolves. What a match we have for you tonight in the FOSROC Super Series. The Stirling Wolves and the Southern Knights going head to head, and the winner will take a big step towards the FOSROC Super Series playoffs, which begin in a couple of weeks' time. All the action coming up live. Well, it's a bit windy, it's a bit miserable, but I'll tell you what, both these teams are ready for action this evening as the Stirling Wolves and Southern Knights prepare to go head-to-head for the second time this season. They met in the Championship back in September at the Green Yards. Close game, the Southern Knights running out 27-19 winners against the Southern Wolves. So, the Stirling Wolves tonight, well, it's a very strong-looking side. Marius Tamasetis starts instead of the injured Lewis Skinner. At tight head, there's been a late change. Tom Smith is in for Hamish Ferguson. Connor Gordon makes a welcome return to the starting team at flanker. Ed Timpson, Sean McDonald are on the bench for Eddie Pollock's Stirling Wolves. For Alan Tate and his Southern Knights, he's pulled together a starting 15 that sees no changes to the starting 7 over the last 2 games. And the forward pack have got a very impressive look to it. Harry Borthwick coming back in. Corbin Thunder getting another start at hooker, following an impressive display against the Ayrshire Bulls. They welcome back Gary Young and Sam Derrick, who have both been out injured. They'll strengthen the bench. Craig Gear, Johnny Rutherford missing from injuries picked up over the last few weeks. The bench a little bit thin. They've gone to Donald Vose from Bigger Rugby, and Ben Weir, the youngster from Melrose Rugby, join on emergency loan cover. Well, Alan Tate said before the game he knows that the Wolves will be hurting for the previous 2 games and will come out firing and have a point to prove at home. So exceptional defensive performance will be required from the Southern Knights, who take the field in the white jerseys and black shorts. I'll be watching the game in the company of Bruce Millar. Bruce, good evening to you. There's a real tasty edge about this one.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to this one all week. It's we've still got next week to come, so we can't predict too much just yet, but whoever wins will take a giant stride into the end of season playoffs.
So as it stands, Heriots, Ayrshire Bulls and Watsonians are playoff bound, but there is a playoff place to be won, and Connor Gordon leads out the Stirling Wolves side, followed by Marcus Holding. Sam Rainey with the scrum cap, the hooker in their black and red jerseys, and getting ready to get us underway. As you can see, the rain is falling, and I guess, Bruce, one of the things you've got to do tonight is look after the ball. It seems obvious, but in these conditions you've just got to make sure you hold on.
I think either look after the ball or don't play with it. I think the kicking game will be key tonight. The conditions are atrocious, is probably too strong a word, but I think it will be a night that they might well opt to give it to the other team and try and force them back, win territory, force mistakes and play from turnovers. It sounds a little bit negative, but that's often the best approach in this sort of weather.
This is a tournament that's not known for negative rugby, so we shall see what both coaches decide. Another ball has been booted onto the field as we get ready to get underway. Horrible night. I'll tell you what, the rugby's usually pretty good. Craig Jackson gets ready to get us underway. Johnny Perriam, the experienced FOSROC Super Series referee. Time is on. We're underway. A deep kick actually finds a little bit of territory. Well, that's a good opening for the Wolves.
Yes, I'm not quite sure how the Southern Knights didn't have anybody close to that. They just seemed to leave it. It was well picked up. The fact that there was space there by Craig Jackson, pinpoint accuracy, and then pressure on the kick.
So Sam Rainey gets ready. 22-year-old Irishman. Just a second start.
Lad, still 6, Stirling. Yeah, thank you.
6
okay,
called
6.
into the line.
Time is still on, we've not stopped yet. Keep going.
James Powell with a white headband is a regular target. Tom Smith is deeper at 4. And it's evaded them all. And good pick up and drive. Corbin Thunder Jackson will take the step inside. And an early test for Glenn Bryce. Bryce. High in there it goes. Gathered. A little bit unorthodox. Donald Crawford. And there's a little chip kick through. And that's a tricky one. And Craig Jackson sees it roll through him.
That's a brilliant take at the from the kick by Donald Crawford. I was sure he was going to drop it on, but you could hear over the referee's mic that they had gathered it. Unorthodox, I think, was your word, but we can already see the conditions are going to be difficult. We said there might be a bit of kicking. We've already seen some. A wasted opportunity by the Wolves at the other end from the line out. What can the Knights make of this one?
That was a hope. No such mistake. Bell gets the ball across onto Adam Hall. Through Crawford. Crawford sees it out. Here's the run. Paddy Anderson. Bell. Dan Gamble. Familiar figure wearing 3. Was a hope. Challenged by Tom Smith. Ball is available. Adam Hall calling for it. Hall tries a little pass on the inside. Callum Barrett was downed. Here's Corbin Thunder. Well, he lives up to his name. Now back on the inside. Nice switch through Archie Hosking. Adam Hall in there again. Trying to drive through the middle. That's good work. Alan Ferry, always a willing worker. Bell. There's a little pass on the inside again. On to Thunder. Bell pulls it back once more. Trying to dig again. Gregor McNeish gets the pass away. There's the big figure of Harry Borthwick. Will again come down this near side. Opportunity for Paddy Anderson. He's a good try scorer. Paddy Anderson, who was eventually held. Bell in there again. Jack Dobie with a little spin move. Not bad for a prop. Comes back in again. McNeish has a little look, tries to go himself. Down well by Glenn Bryce. Pressure continuing. Good series of play. There's a little hinge going in. You can see Monroe job. 7 trying to push over. Ball is available. The referee's indicating that. Chris Bell waits. There's the little pass again. Jack Dobie hinged. They're trying to find a way through. They're not far away. And Wozo Hope. Well, I think Craig Jackson came through there. There's the little clip through. They'll come back for the penalty. Craig Jackson caught offside, just right on the line.
Really good ball retention by the Southern Knights. And again, you said at the start about keeping hold of the ball, and they did that there, went through several phases, and it took them time. They it was a half a metre at a time, but the Stirling Wolves defence, they stopped coming forward, and they made it easy for the Knights to gain ground. And they'll be a little disappointed that they didn't get over at the end there, because they got within a metre or so of the try line.
And on a night like this, Bruce, they're going to take the points, or they're going to go for the kick. We presume that they will get the points from here. And sometimes you just want to make sure you get on the board and just start to make it tick over.
I think that's a wise decision. Again, going back to the conditions, you've got to assume at this stage that there's probably not going to be a huge number of tries in the game, and so you take any opportunity for points.
Well, 5 minutes played, their first 40 inside the 22 ends up with Gregor McNeish popping it through the posts, and the Southern Knights lead by 3 points to 0.
Just going back to that Southern Knights attack as well, it was varied. They were using the forwards, but they had that second line of attack in place. They were pulling it, using the forwards to pull the ball out the back door and go wider. Paddy Anderson, you see his father sitting down just in front of us here, is driven all the way up from Gaventon, popping up over on the far side, and then on this side in the 22 making good ground. So the backs working hard, looking for opportunities.
Well, the referee isn't broken, but his microphone is, so we'll get some attention. Johnny Perrier, I think we'll hear him once more.
Sorry, boys.
There we go.
You're enough to get. Cheers, man. Okay, time is on.
So Craig Jackson, who conceded the penalty for offside, gets it started again. It's a good hit.
Outside.
Moved out pretty quickly there, Aidan Cross.
Five step, thank you.
Thunder.
No. Outside. Use it now.
Chris Bell, really his first season at scrum half. More a natural 10. Gets the box kick away. Well taken by Glenn Bryce. And dropped down for Ben Afshar. A little spell at the Southern Knights, Ben Afshar. 9 this evening for the black and red Stirling Wolves. That went backwards, just off the hands of Ryan Southern. But he is electric, Ryan Southern. It's the little pass inside, Ross McKnight. Afshar again. Samosetis, a grumbling figure. It was bounced forwards, but okay. Again, just trying to come through the line. Good supporting play by Tom Smith. Now they're trying to get it out wide. There's a little kick in behind. Here's the opportunity. Aaron just running out of play. Decent rugby.
Some really good rugby and some great individual skills. We're seeing how good Ryan Southern is on both sides of the ball. Huge hit on Aidan Cross, and then with the difficult pick-up over on the far side of the pitch there, showing just how good he is in attack. Glenn Bryce, it was a good kick by Chris Bell, a box kick, just landing in the 5-metre channel, but Glenn Bryce dealing wonderfully with it, staying in the field of play and allowing Stirling Wolves to attack from there.
You're the receiver, make sure you're clearly back, thank you.
Again, not taken.
Yes, another wasted opportunity. That's 2 line-outs they've had down there. They said that opportunities may well be scarce tonight. It's 2 visits to the 22, and as yet, no points for Stirling Wolves.
I'm happy where he is. Crouch. Bind. Set.
Here's the opportunity to try and clear the lines. Well, it wasn't clean. There's no advantage, so they'll go with a long pass out wide. There's a little clip through, so they'll come back for the penalty. And again, it's a different thing, Bruce, when you know that you got the advantage, you can just come out in a slightly different way.
If I'm honest, I hadn't realised that the referee was playing an advantage. I wondered what on earth they were playing at. I assumed that they must have an advantage, and they looked like they were going to put boot to ball, and there was space at the back. If they had sent it long, but I don't think they connected quite right. No advantage, and the referee coming back.
Yeah, guys, you on the line, please? Thank you. Perfect, really good gap distance so far, thank you.
So a decent clearing kick.
You're going to be the edge of that line there. Thank you. Receiver, thank you, perfect.
So Corbin Thunder gets ready. You can see the hard work going on in there, Corbin Thunder. In at the back. Bell in behind him. That's one movement. Well, there's the attacking kick. Holden underneath it, doesn't gather.
No one's touched it.
One by Jackson. Jackson across onto Bryce. Bryce, that's charged down. And here's the opportunity. That was good play from Adam Hall. And now quickly moving, it's too high for Thunder. And Connor Gordon gets away. Gordon gets it out. Here's the opportunity for Southern. Southern can fly. Now here's the long one. Heron, where's 11?
No, doesn't have to. Use it now, 9.
There's the clearing kick.
Hold. Yes.
Doesn't find touch. Taken by Jackson. Jackson on the inside, onto Bryce. Bryce gets it moving. There's Ross McKnight. Well, they thought they got the counter ruck, but they didn't. So you missed the ball. George Breeze picks up. Outside just Lithuanian. Now back again. There's the ball on the angle from Craig Jackson. It's not an easy one. It's a great take in the end, and there will come the clearing kick as well. It was taken back in, but it does, well, it just bounces on the line, so that's not good enough. And it'll come all the way back.
That was a shame, because it was another good take from a decent kick, and perhaps just felt he had to rush the kick. If he'd got that slightly better angle again, there was space, but Stirling Wolves, with the opportunity, it could have gone wrong for him at the other end, with Ross McKnight for the second time in the game not dealing well with a kick. And then the pass to Glenn Bryce. The Knights getting hold of the ball just at the 22. I'd like to see it again. I thought they perhaps should have come to the right, opted to go to the left, and Connor Gordon with the intercept and took off downfield.
He's lightning quick, Connor Gordon, isn't he? And he makes such a difference to the Wolves having him in there. I know they're delighted to get him back in that side. He's missed the last 3.
He's a very good player. Lewis Wind did a good job last week, but they've definitely missed their vice captain, Connor Gordon.
5. Thank you.
5 called in, so Corbin Thunder is ejected. Taken not cleanly, that came off the hands of Borthwick, but the initial knock on came against the Stirling Wolves, and Bruce, they've got a problem with the line out at the moment. It's just not working.
That's 3 in similar positions. It just hasn't functioned at all. I'm not entirely sure as yet. Again, I'd like another look at it, whether it's the throwing, the lifting, the jumping. They've had a late change in there, Hamish Ferguson replaced by Tom Smith, but he's a good line out forward as well, so I don't know if that's just disrupted things a little. Either way, they'll have to be much more accurate than that when they get into that zone down there, because that's now 3 opportunities wasted.
Crouch.
That's the side currently in 5th place in the table, the Stirling Wolves.
Set.
Up against the Southern Knights, who are in 4th. They lead them by 2 points.
That's fine, that's fine.
The ball needed a little bit of encouragement to get back. Borthwick opens his body out to just protect. Hall gets the opportunity to come forward, caught in the midfield.
Keep moving, 10, keep moving. Thank you, thank you.
Bell tries to see where McNish is. Come back across to the left. Great work by Iwozo Hope and Alan Ferry. They do such a big job.
Yeah, it was out.
Manish pulls it back. The ball was out, and he's been caught there. Just need to get the ball off. And cross.
It's taken back in.
And again, it's been taken back in.
It's taken back in.
Well, sometimes you're just not quite sure, and the best policy, Bruce, is just to get rid of it.
Before he passed it, the guy shot
yes, I'm not entirely sure why they didn't kick a phase or 2 earlier. They had the opportunity. They could have just set it up from first phase if they want. They did take another phase out to the centres. They could have kicked from that, but they just seem to want to play, and they've got themselves into trouble.
Here's Sam Riney.
5's the call.
Back-to-back starts for Sam Riney. He'd been off the bench the previous 3. Well, they've gone tight to the front. It comes back to him, trying to drive his way forward. He's initially short.
Line!
Now they're trying to drive. Back it comes. That's Rory Knott. First major involvement in the game for Rory Knott. Sees him drive over the try line, and the Wolves get the first try of the game.
Well, that's clever. It's inventive. We've said they've lost 3 line-outs down there, and they've tried something different. They've gone to the front. They've caught the Southern Knights unawares, and then 2 or 3 phases later, over they go. Have a look at it there. Just thrown to the front of the line-out, taken by James Pow. And the Southern Knights just couldn't quite get their defence reorganised. And that's a powerful carry at the end.
Yeah, if you watch this at the end, Archie Hosking does really well to get on the body of Rory Knott, but there's nothing he can do to stop him. He just has the power. Here it comes. There's Afshar with a little pass, and he just breaks through. It's that little spin move. When somebody's getting that spin on you, it's hard just to grab exactly where you need to. And the opening try for Stirling Wolves. That's just going to drift away. And Marcus Holden can't nail the kick.
No, you're all good, man. It's not your fault. I understand.
Just having another look here. I'd like to see Corbin Thunder. You can see with the 2 gears on his back. I just wonder if he began to fold here, because he was almost standing behind the tackler, and I think his job should have been on the inside. That should have been a double tackle, and Thunder, I think, was already on his way round the corner. We'll perhaps see that again at half-time.
Afshar deals with it well. It's the old attitude in rugby. You get the score, and when the kick comes, deal with it well.
Set the attacking gap now. Big meter, please.
And that's exactly what he's done.
You set the meter. You set.
So a little conference. Corbin
Right,
Thunder
set the meter, please.
has a towel.
Thank you.
Needs a ball to dry. And Jack Dobie just has the little word in the call, which they are going to change.
Still drying the ball, to be fair.
Alan Ferry right at the front with that little black headband. Harry Borthwick quickly taken. Thunder on the inside. It's a difficult one. Hall gets the ball out. Here's the opportunity for Paddy Anderson. It's a horrible night for fullbacks. Well, Glenn Bryce had the opportunity to clear his lines, decided not to, and gets Mikey Heron involved.
Hold, still in, still in, still in. Use it, 9.
Ben Afshar. There's the chasing kick. Oh, it's a horrible bounce. And eventually it was taken by Aidan Cross.
Hold. Yes, now.
Well, it's tactical here. Cross goes back.
Hold there, White.
Long kick.
Yes, well done.
Well, that's excellent play. Both wingers getting involved, Callum Barrett and Aidan Cross, having to make these difficult ones, especially, Bruce, when they're falling over your shoulder. You're trying to get yourself round.
I'd hate to be a back three player tonight, and we can see both sides involved there. Stirling Wolves, Ross McKnight, we mentioned earlier, not dealing with the kicks particularly well on that occasion. Glenn Bryce inside his 22 from the kick by Patrick Anderson, and combined well with Mikey Heron to make 20 metres or so, and got his side out of a bit of trouble. But that was a good kick by Aidan Cross up over halfway.
Well, it was a difficult one. Stretching up was James Pout. One of these balls that you hate to take as a scrum half. That's gone out on the full. Potential change coming here. Joe Roberts, the 16-year-old, is warming up down below us. And I'm wondering if there's a problem with Sam Rennie.
Lads, hold fire. Knights, hold fire. Substitution, just hold.
Well,
just hold.
Sam Rennie has lasted just 19 minutes.
Okay, let's go again, thank you.
And Joe Roberts, he's 16 years old, requires special dispensation to play in this game. Well, talk about baptism of fire. It's going to be a very interesting game for him now. Borthwick the target, taken down. Thunder comes to the very edge of them all and gathers it. He's got Chris Bell right behind him.
Next time it stops.
Next time it stops, you've got to get rid of it. The referee has said. Thunder decides to go himself, peels away. He's a good try scorer. Loves a little run. Borthwick will play scrum half. Into the pod of forwards it goes. Jack Dobie.
The ball's there.
And Wozo Hope. It was a little bit low, but it was a good take. He's clearing out the way is Connor Gordon, always in on the tackle. It's a great tackle as well. Thomasitis on the inside it comes, Monroe Job. Battling again, Archie Hoskin repelled. And Wozo Hope, well, just meets the tackler.
No, thank you. Thanks for listening. Perfect.
McNeish There's a little pass off on to Paddy Anderson.
No, missed it.
Really not, is caught on the wrong side. Trying to show the referee that he's trying to get away. And Wozo Hope, there's a little ball off. Comes through McNeish. It's a difficult one for Adam Hall. Second attempt, but he knew he was going to be swarmed. And there's the drop. You could just see the disappointment there of Gregor McNeish. But the penalty's been awarded anyway.
That's a shame, and I'm enjoying watching the Southern Knights attack. It's quite varied. They're attacking round the... We'll have a quick look at... I thought this was the mistake. It was indeed, yes, the knock-on, and then a man in front, so offside penalty to the Stirling Wolves. But yes, the Knights, they're attacking the first and second defender at the side of the ruck because they can't come forward as fast. So they're making good ground in there. They're trying to get their wingers involved there. The forward pods are cutting inside as well and getting inside the press, but then they're going out the back and going wide, and they're keeping the Stirling Wolves defence guessing and moving around, but they've been up to the task so far.
Joe Roberts with his first throw.
Yeah, good there too, thank you.
For the Stirling Wolves, gets it in well, good take. And gets himself in at the back.
Once!
That's one movement.
Use it!
Ben Asher, there's a little ball back on the inside. Looking for Ross McKnight. Afshar, not the try scorer. Wrestled to the ground. Nicely through Tom Smith. Well, Cross was onside and he wisely got himself out the way there.
Missed the ball, use it!
The ball available. There's little Jimmy back on the inside.
No, you've retracted. It's gone back.
Jackson. Bryce goes down. You see the support coming in quickly. Ben Afshar is there.
Not two, no two. No.
Good sustained pressure. There's George Breeze. Back again, Afshar. Through again, Jackson. Bryce was wanting it, but it got swallowed up. Heron. Some good tackling coming in from the men in white. It's persistent play from the home side. Damasidis drives his way forward. Back again with Jackson. Jackson on to Not looking for a second try. Tries to pop the ball off. They're camping close once more. Jackson tries to get moving. Good tackling again from the men in white.
Well done. Stay there. No. Yeah, but 10's got to move.
Now back inside. Ed Hadsel, good try scorer as well, not being held up. They're trying to drive him over the line. Well, I think he might have got that down. The referee has a look and says yes.
That's a great try by Stirling Wolves. Wonderful ball retention, again going through several phases. Originally coming from the line out, you mentioned young Joe Roberts coming on, maybe a little bit early to say that he's fixed their line out woes, but he hit his man and then they broke away, and it's interesting, much more traditional, you might say, attack from Stirling Wolves. We were just talking about the Knights and how they were mixing things up. The Stirling Wolves coming around, it's almost that sort of South African approach. The forwards coming around the corner, hitting out at 45 degrees and forcing more Knights players to fold round the corner, and then trying to release the backs. They had to go on the far side, didn't have any luck, went back to the forwards, and again went through phases, and then they just pulled the trigger at exactly the right moment when the Knights defence was getting a little sparse, and then the power at the end to go over under the posts.
A conversion, nice and successful. So Rory Nord yet to score a try this season. Now has two in the opening 25 minutes. And again, the key to this, Bruce, is the way he spun, and they just couldn't get the hand underneath the Southern Knights. The referee across, we thought it was a try, and Johnny Perry in the right place to agree.
Yes, that's both tries. I guess the Southern Knights might be a little disappointed that they didn't manage to get hands under there or drive him backwards, because they had a hold of him there. But let's credit the attacker, showing a lot of power to get himself over.
Yeah, on that one for me, yeah.
I think Alan Tate will be a little bit disappointed. His side have played well in the opening 25 minutes. They'd have a lot of ball. They're down in the 22 a few times, but basically you've got to credit the way the Wolves have found the line.
Yes, they've withstood everything that the Knights have thrown at them. I'd say Alan Tate might be a little disappointed that they weren't able to finish off at least one of those opportunities, but again, credit to the Wolves defence, and then showing they can score tries at the other end.
Theo and Whistle Hope brings it down once more.
Sideways once.
Corbin Thunder. Chris Bell waits for it. Really not being told not to change his bind. Harry Borthwick's doing a great job. Well, it's gone sideways, but it's also gone forwards, ref, so we shall see. McNeish. And to see if there's a way through again. It's good hold up play, Ed Hadsel. It went backwards, but coming through the middle is Joe Roberts. Aidan Cross will have to go across and try and take this and get himself back up. He's going to be in a heap of trouble. McKnight and Roberts both on him. There's the drive through. Came through the middle. And the ball's been turned over. Now here's the chance. McKnight wants to try and find the line. Trying to be driven. There's advantage coming. And Afshar waits for it. Afshar sends it across. Connor Gordon was low. Gordon trying to get over the line. And the referee has a look. Well, it's a night for the flankers at Bridgehaugh. Connor Gordon going over the line. And they are a clear and present threat every time they're in the 22.
That's clinical by the Stirling Wolves. They said that they'd wasted 3 opportunities when they got inside the 22 at the start, but then they've scored from their next 3 visits. And once again, it wasn't quite a carbon copy of the mistake by the Southern Knights earlier when the ball was, I think, intercepted over on the far side by Connor Gordon, but it was scrappily thrown out of the maul, hacked off downfield, and then won at the breakdown by Stirling Wolves. They took their time building into this game, but they really have their tails up now.
Well, the coaching staff are round talking to the Southern Knights. They just need to regroup here and keep themselves in this game. As Marcus Holden looks to slot this through for what would be a 16-point lead. Now there's the closing down. It's a good kick. Well, we've seen at the World Cup that you can close down the kicker if they're unsuspecting. Marcus Holden has a little smile there, gets the conversion away.
I think it would take quite a bit to fluster Marcus Holden, and he's kicked an awful lot of goals in his career.
I'll tell you if it's not.
It doesn't feel like a 16-point difference between the two sides.
19 unanswered points for the Wolves. Afshar takes, drives it long. Right up to halfway.
The Knights have got themselves in trouble on a couple of occasions from restarts. No messing about there for the Stirling Wolves. Afshar with a great clearing kick up over halfway.
Jack Dobie willing to make the call. Alan Ferry is the man at the front. Theo and Whistle Hope in behind him. Harry Borthwick is there. It was just rescued by Alan Ferry. Corbin Thunder. No job. And Whistle Hope being hauled down by James Pow. Now they'll come back. Here's the on the angle from Aidan Cross. Ball is available. McNeish gets it away. I don't think it could be held there by Anderson. There's another little kick through, but they'll come back for the knock on. And on a night like this where the ball is slippy, when you're having to force it slightly, that's where your problems tend to come from.
Yes, and they're showing great enterprise, and again, going back to what was said about their attack, it's varied, bringing Aidan Cross in. It looked to me like he went to the wrong side of the breakdown there, but either way they retained possession but weren't really going anywhere, so it's allowing the Wolves defence to come forward there at them, and they will feel under pressure, and it shows with the mistakes that they've made, because they weren't making them earlier on. We said that the Wolves defence weren't coming forward perhaps as fast as they could. They now are, and it's causing these errors.
Crunch!
Well, last season the Stirling Wolves won 2 out of the 10 in the championship, 3 out of 7 in the sprint, 4 wins already in the 10 games in the championship of 2023, so the improvement is there. Scrum will have to be reset. Improvement 2 for the Southern Knights. 2 games won in the championship last term. We've already won 4. And Alan Tate and coaching staff, Lewis Carmichael, Scott White, certainly making a difference.
They are, and you can start to see that in their game now. The problem is they haven't won an away game, I think, since 8th of October last year when they beat Heriots.
Correct.
And so it was always going to be a big ask today. And the Wolves, they've not fared particularly well on the road, but they have been very good here at Bridgehaugh. And so it's too early to call this one only half an hour in, but we're perhaps seeing signs of that.
Well, it's gone down again, so the referee will have a little word with the front rows.
You're much better, I'll come this side. Gap's a little bit too wide. Both in, yeah? Left is good, bring it in a bit. Closer, thank you. Just bring it a little bit. Thank you.
Well, as always at any scrum, at any level, players just looking for any little bit of advantage they can find against their opponent.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Rees, Roberts and Tomasaitis, the front row for the Stirling Wolves. Dolby, Thunder and Gamble for the Southern Knights. Stirling have won the ball. Now get things moving, Jackson. McKnight was calling for it out wide. Afshar, Heron. Dropping down around Southern. James Pow. Tomasaitis again. Really got their tails up at the moment of the home side. There's the ball on the angle.
Yeah, all good, man.
Cross goes over. Gets the clearing kick away. Didn't get the height he wanted on it, but has escaped into touch.
The Wolves just starting to win the collisions as well with the carries. It's putting the Southern Knights defence on the back foot.
I'm not sure if you're joking or not, but I didn't see it.
And that was just from the set piece, a big carry in the midfield from the centres, and probably a good option to kick that by Craig Jackson. He knew it would set up in these conditions, enforcing the kick, and it allows them again to attack from the line out.
Taken at the back by Tomasaitis, who immediately dropped it. So the advantage comes the way of the Southern Knights, and they'll come back for the scrum. It's bad enough when the opponents tackle you, when your own players do it. It's a little bit unfortunate.
And I was laughing at myself, the words "it allows them to attack from the line out." I'd no sooner left my mouth than I thought, well, they haven't exactly fared particularly well at the line out. But since Joe Roberts came on only 20 minutes into this game, he perfect throw, and that led, I think, to their first try. But another one, it's certainly been a difficult area for them.
So Chris Bell, the 22-year-old scrum half,
Crouch!
ever present this season, be it from the start or off the bench. Appeared in all 11 games for the Southern Knights.
Let's use it now. No, stay behind it.
Told to use it, Borthwick just using his body well. That'll be the kick from Cross. It's a good take. Aaron did well. Back onto Bryce. Bryce opens it up. That's a good kick.
Yes, Bryce just showing all his experience there. He knew exactly where the space was before he had ever caught the ball, and they judged that one to perfection.
Great line out this one so far. Keep it going. Guys, good line out this one so far. Keep it going.
The Knights' line out has functioned well. Corbin Thunder, he's a good hooker. He carries the ball well. He's hit his man in the line out, but this is just not where they want to be throwing into the line out.
Just a metre.
19 years old, Corbin Thunder, 7 tries in 8 games for Newcastle Falcon. Needs to get the basics right of throwing in. They've done so. The ball went backwards. You could see the Wolves trying to disrupt the Knights.
Still in, still in, still in.
Bell's kick. Has gone straight out.
Ball still live with 9. What are we stopping for? What are we stopping for? I came from you. Sorry. Sorry guys, time's still on. Yeah, sorry, I heard something wrong. There we are, that's you.
Referee thought we're getting distracted by something. But play will continue. The Wolves leading the Knights, 19 points to 3. 4.5 minutes to the break. Better again from the line out. There's a chance. Connor Gordon going through, needs some support. Roberts is up with him. Afshar in behind. Breeze. Might try and get it wide. Hadsel is taken down. Well, they're looking for a try bonus before half-time.
Yeah, well done, 4. Well done.
Trying to get this game beyond Southern Knights. Jackson lays it off. Good tackling by the Knights, but again, the ball is back on the Wolves' side. Connor Gordon. Roberts trying to help him out. Afshar. Ed Hadsel. Gets some help from Breeze. Afshar thought about going himself. He's played on the inside. Marcus Holden. Now here's the chance. Jackson flicks it across. Might just be dragged out just that little bit short. The ball appears. There's the touch inside to Bryce. Credit the referee for getting out the way as Glenn Bryce goes through. And the Stirling Wolves, who struggled at the start of the game, will have a bonus try point in their pocket at half-time. And they extend their lead again. What a first-half performance this has been from the Wolves.
Well, it took them 15 or 20 minutes to get into the game. That's a great line there. And the Southern Knights defence were all at sea. I thought they'd lost the opportunity as it squirted out the side, but Glenn Bryce first to react there. See it at a better angle here. It just came squirting out the side. And Glenn Bryce, his right arm just long enough to stretch out and touch that ball down, but once again, very clinical.
That's right.
And you can tell that Connor Gordon has missed being on a rugby pitch for the last 3 weeks or so. Big carry over in the front of the scoreboard to take play into the 22, just head down, driving into contact. And it was the Southern Knights forwards who had the better of the early exchanges, but now, say, the Wolves have they've had a chat to themselves, I think, and just, say, putting their side on the front foot. The Southern Knights defence just not coping so well with it.
Little chat required by the coaching staff for the Southern Knights at half-time. See what adjustments they will make as Marcus Holden looks to add the extras. And again, they'll come and try and put him off. But it takes a lot as that spirals in. Well, 26 points to 3. It's been a really satisfying second part to this first half for Eddie Pollock's side. And who says referees aren't athletes? What's Johnny Perry? Get out the way there. Well, Southern Knights get the break of the ball that time. Can they get on the board again before half-time? Scrum advantage, good communication. On to Chris Bell. Bell, McNeish through Hall. Anderson waits for it. Anderson dragged down well.
Still in. Scrum advantage over.
Scrum advantage is over. They've had several possessions. Jack Dobie tries to get past Ross McKnight. Counter rucking. There's Corbin Thunder. Tries to run through the scrum half. Ben Afshar. Advantage coming. McNeish looking to see if there's an opportunity. Lifts it up high. Taken well. That's good running, Callum Barrett.
Yes.
The Wolves camped on the 22. The penalty advantage. There's a little chip over the top. Well taken by Dobie. And they'll come back for the penalty. Well, time is almost up. A little kick to the corner. And see what you can do from there.
That wasn't a bad option to go over the top. I was just about to say that Stirling Wolves' defence are coming off the line faster and faster, and there is perhaps space in behind. It was a well-judged chip, didn't quite work out for the Southern Knights, but again, just showing some invention, trying to read what's in front of them. I wonder if they're just going to their backs a little too early at times before the forwards have got them on the front foot, because it's allowing that Stirling Wolves defence to race through out wide and again put pressure on the passes. But they won't get a better chance than this.
Yeah, big moment of the match, this.
Numbers. 6 called, 6 in.
So again, Dobie and Thunder
Receiver.
have their little natter. Borthwick skips to nearer the back. And Mozo Hope is the target. That's where it's gone.
No, one out.
Thunder
One, move, out.
trying to drive him forward.
Out.
It has split.
Okay, 9. Got to think about using it.
Referee's telling 9 to use it.
It's not moving, use it.
It's split off onto Borthwick. Borthwick held up by Connor Gordon. Great tackle. It's too high though. Well, he took him down. Borthwick's a big boy. So penalty advantage coming.
Penalty advantage.
Still penalty advantage. The Knights need to make something of this. Wolves tackling ferociously. Now they'll try and move it. Jackson on to Hall. Again offside.
Still the same advantage.
Still playing the same advantage. Trying to sneak round the side. I'm not sure it was there necessarily.
Keep working, one. Well done, one. Well done, one. Well done, mate.
Now pull back again. McNeish going for the line. Held up well. Knott was
Still
involved.
advantage, 9.
Still advantage.
Still advantage.
Round the corner, trying to push their way through. The referee keeping a close eye on things. Bell is going to pull it out. Here's the opportunity, and it will come out wide. The try should be scored by Cross if he got it down. It's a great finish by Aidan Cross. It was good defence. They saw the danger in the corner, but he left his feet, got the ball down, and the Knights get their first try of the game.
That's a great finish by Aidan Cross. We'll get a look at it here. He pulled the trigger at exactly the right moment.
Craig Jackson was so close, wasn't he?
He was very good. We'll see it at better angle here. McKnight coming in, and yes, Jackson dived through everything at that, but great awareness by Aidan Cross that needed to get himself in there, keep his feet up, and managed to get that ball touched down. And again, good play by the Southern Knights inside the 22, going through phases, using the forwards. They tried to use the backs on a couple of occasions, but they recognised when they tightened that Stirling Wolves defence up, and there was space out there on that right wing.
Psychologically, it would have been a big kick there to try and get over just to move into double figures. They've been unable to do so. Well, the Southern Knights will be boosted by the fact that they breached the Stirling Wolves try line. But Stirling Wolves, who endured a really torrid opening 10 minutes, managed to get their way back into the game. And it really was, Bruce Millar alongside me, quite a turnaround.
It was a huge turnaround. I mean, we were critical, rightly so, I think, of the Stirling Wolves in those first 15 minutes. They had opportunities. It was mostly wasted because their line-out just didn't function at all. But their defence stood up to everything that the Southern Knights threw at them. They forced mistakes because there were a couple of occasions that the Knights looked like they could score, and there was, I think, Connor Gordon with an important intervention when he intercepted the far side. There was a forced knock-on just down in front of us, and it was hacked off downfield, and it just didn't allow the Knights to get themselves on the scoreboard. But even having scored that try, the Southern Knights looking a little dejected as they go into the tunnel down below us, and the Wolves trotting off away down to the other end of the stand here. Doesn't look like that particularly dented their confidence. It's a very solid lead on a night like this, 26 points to 8.
What a match it's been. We thought it'd be good between the teams looking for that final playoff place, and so it has proved to be. Well, this tournament, the games average over 8 tries per match. We've had 5 so far, and it looked for all the world like the Southern Knights would get on the board very early, but Jackson came offside and they were thwarted in the way trying to get through. And I still think it was the right call at the time. Just take the points, get yourself on the board, and that was what it proved to be, as Marcus Holden got himself in there to block that attack. Gregor McNeish with a penalty after 5 minutes. And then they'd had line-out problems, so Bruce, they went short, and it paid dividends.
Short!
Yes, it's clever. If your line-out's not working, you've got to come up with something else, and that worked absolutely perfectly for them. I still think the Knights didn't quite get their defence right there. They seem to be stacked up behind each other. Again, I'd like to see it from the angle behind, but either way, let's give credit to Stirling Knights for Stirling Wolves for coming up with that play.
Yeah, good body work here by Rory Knott, twisting his way, getting himself over the try line. 1 try in 12 prior to this evening. He gets 2 within 10 minutes.
Yes, you could see it was Archie Hosking and Corbin Thunder just lost connection there. They didn't quite get their defence right. They weren't working together.
Still had a lot of work to do, and it's the way he just turned his body. You say Corbin Thunder couldn't get the grips on him. And all of a sudden, it was starting to look good for the home side in the red and black jerseys this evening. And they just continued to push and push. And it's been a night for the back row. And it was Connor Gordon wearing 7. Watch him there. Wins the ball and gets it through.
It's 2 strong carries. Ed Hasdell making good ground, and then Rory Knott as well, great strength. But it was at this stage that we saw the Stirling Wolves pack. So I think they had a good chat to themselves and starting to carry more strongly, finding gaps in that Southern Knights defence.
Yeah, I mean, the work of the whole back row, Connor Gordon, Ed Hadsell and Rory Knott with the first 2 tries, you know, working so hard to get them. But when your back row's functioning like that, Bruce, there's just something very special about it, because you can just rely on the work. And here's the work of Connor Gordon here again. And Hadsell was involved by throwing it over the line.
Yes, the whole back row has been absolutely superb. They complement each other well. Connor Gordon there just cuts inside. That pressing player, we spoke about the Southern Knights doing the same, cutting inside that sort of 3rd and 4th defender that bring the line speed and hitting the first 2 that can't come forward. Connor Gordon doing that there, making good ground, gets himself over.
Yeah, Mosa Hope, Ferry was in there, Archie Hosking again, but once more they couldn't hold up.
For the knock on. Back foot, lads. Ball's there. And
I guess the difference has been that, you know, when they've been there and they're that close to the line, they've been absolutely clinical in making sure they get the finish.
After their first 3 wasteful entries into the 22, I think they've come away with points from just about every other visit, and it's been tries.
And then, of course, Glenn Bryce has to spoil the forwards party by getting the backs onto the score sheet.
He deserved that one because he's been good at the back as well. You said it's not a great night for fullbacks, but again, he's been up to everything that the Southern Knights threw at him. He got his team out of trouble on a couple of occasions from the 22, and he's kicked well.
And again, that wasn't easy to try and get through Alan Ferry, who's, you know, a big unit, good tackler, just trying to plant himself there, but getting himself to the ground very well. Glenn Bryce worked really hard, and the referee skipping to the side to make sure he wasn't getting in the way.
Yep, good work by the referee. The Southern Knights defence, they just weren't set there. The fact the ball came squirting out the side probably made it difficult as well to read exactly what was going to happen, but Stirling Wolves were like lightning there, just hands on the ball, quick pass, and Glenn Bryce just running hard at the hole.
That was the try, bonus point secured after just 37 minutes, but this was what the visitors needed. Aidan Cross, now look at Jackson, almost gets him. He had to do the big up and over dive, because if he hadn't and gone fairly lateral, Jackson was taking him out into touch here.
Yes, this last pass was perhaps a little bit loopy if he'd got it in his hands just a little bit quicker, but great work by Jackson to get across there and threw himself into it. And we only see the end of that, but it was actually really good build-up play by the Southern Knights in the 22. Not for the first time, it's the first time they've come away with points, but their attack, it has looked good in passages, but just not able to come up with the goods until the last minute of the half.
Well, the Stirling Wolves aren't the only scary thing around these parts at the moment, and the Southern Knights will hope to reverse things in the second half. We'll leave you for a moment or two with a half-time score from Bridgehaugh. The FOSROC Super Series, the race for the playoffs. The Stirling Wolves lead the Southern Knights by 26 points to 8. Well, a great first half for the Stirling Wolves after an opening that left a little to be desired, but they found themselves ahead by 26 points to 8. And they retake the field, and there's a lot of work to do for the visiting side. Big 40 minutes in the race for the playoffs. As things stand, Heriot's, Ayrshire and Watsonians already through. Heriot's looking good at top of the table. The Southern Knights and Stirling Wolves separated by just 2 points. Southern Knights have 2 more try bonus points than their hosts. But at the moment, it's going to be a 5-pointer for the Wolves as things stand. They'll get 4 points for the win, and they've got the try bonus already. So there's a lot of work to do for Alan Tate's men. The home side have the ball at the start of the second half. Ben Afshar. Afshar looks, goes high. Monroe Job tries to gather, it goes past him. Ed Hadsell knocks the ball forward, it looked like. Referee happy. Archie Hosking, wears 6, gets the chance to make the run. Bell. Driving through is Luke Thompson. Now Harry Borthwick getting a chance to run. Borthwick, he's a hard man to take down. Afshar did well. Now Bell back on the inside. There's Ferry. Ferry tries to get the ball away. Dan Gamble. So going again. And Rousseau Holt dragged to the ground by James Bow. McNeish. Hall. Here's the fullback. Here's the opportunity to make the run. If he can get it on the inside, he passes it straight away. Donald Crawford straight to Ben Afshar. Oh, Ben Afshar used to play for the Southern Knights, but not now. Told to use it. Hall trying to come round the corner. That's long. Donald Crawford. It's gone backwards. It's an awkward one. Back on the inside to McNeish. Just off the side of the foot and gathers. It's good play. Immediately taken down by Connor Gordon. Bell fires it on to Hall. They are playing with a pace. Crawford. That's going to come through, but will just go straight out, so the pressure applied. And what a start to the second half it has been so far. It's been a little bit fast, it's been a little bit furious. Bruce Millar is alongside me. It's the kind of pace we want to see.
It's been a cracking game so far. The conditions difficult, but both sides trying to play rugby. And Southern Knights, well, they know they have to come out and throw everything at the game. There's nothing else for it. Donald Crawford, I think he would probably like that moment again. He had, I think it was his winger Callum Barrett on his left and opted to pass the ball inside to one of the Stirling Wolves players. I think if we had another look at that, he could have perhaps put his winger away.
Hall back to McNeish. McNeish gets Crawford in the line. Now he does have Barrett there. Barrett dragged down by McKnight. Pushing through Archie Hosking. Just like a good run does Archie Hosking. 5th appearance, man from Guildford Rugby.
No, Stirling, no.
Well, the penalty advantage will come. And you could hear that from the referee. Going to take it quickly. Bell moves quickly on the inside. Barrett tries to drive through. Get Bruce's thoughts on that quick penalty in a moment. And Wuso Hope goes past Dobie. I thought he spilt it. He's okay. Brought it back. It's McNeish. Anderson. He's got great feet, still going. Now back on the inside. Gamble with a juggle. And then it pops up again, so they will come back. Well, they got inside the 22, Bruce, but just wondered if they would have kicked for the corner there rather than take the quick one.
Yes, they're just looking to keep the pace of the game high, try and put that Stirling Wolves defence on the back foot. We spoke about it at the end of the first half. The Wolves defence were coming onto them. They were perhaps releasing the ball to their backs too quickly. I think they've spoken about that at half-time. They're using their forwards. They're trying to carry, just put dents in that Wolves defence before using the backs, and that was good by Patrick Anderson. They took play into the 22, but knocked on by Jack Dobie, and that's really been the story of the Southern Knights evening so far. They've got themselves into good positions, and then handling errors has given away possession.
Anderson, the most experienced player in Southern Knights terms on the field, 43 appearances now. I think he's earned the title of stalwart.
Set!
Ashar. Well, the Knights have gone for it here, and they've got the turnover. The penalty advantage is coming, and there it is. Well, I think that took the Stirling Wolves pack by surprise, the ferocity at which the Southern Knights scrummaged there.
I have no idea where that came from, because the scrums have been eeksy-peeksy all night. They've not gone anywhere. It just really has been a means to restart the game, and then just from nowhere, just the power coming on. They'll be annoyed. Jack Dobie was the man that knocked that ball on. He's always had a word there and said, look, let's get this back. And well, we said they've been wasteful of their opportunities. He scored, I think it was from the line, it wasn't at the end of the first half. Here's another opportunity at the other end of the field.
It was really impressive change made. Luke Thompson is on. Thompson throws in, on to Borthwick. And he has it at the back. See Thompson with a scrum cap, trying to drive it through. McNeish trying to push him forward.
Seven out.
No, being ejected there was Connor Gordon, and the try is there. It was just sheer and utter persistence, and his scrum cap may have come off as he got the ball down, but Luke Thompson, well, it's a scrum cap, not a cape, but he's the hero.
That's a much better set line-out maul. They had one at the other end of the field in the first half, and they didn't get it set properly. It was repelled by Stirling Wolves, but they got that one set nice and tight, and the Knights forwards have really stepped up to the mark in the early stages of this second half. Played second fiddle to the Wolves 8, and most of that first half. If the Knights are going to get themselves back into this game, it's going to have to be through the power of the pack. People like Nwosu Hope, Ferry, Borthwick, and Jack Dobie really to the fore.
Greg McNeish, 30-year-old, former Heriots player, can't get that one on target, so there's the opportunity. Well, if you're looking at Alan Tate's checklist, one of them be tidy at the start, point 2, get the first score of the second half. They've done both.
I think he'll be very happy with the opening 7 minutes of this second half. We've got a game on our hands now. It didn't look very good for them just before half-time. But the Wolves will be aware that they've got a fight in their hands now.
Over 2,000 points now scored in the FOSROC Super Series season so far. 36 games. Well, just about 55 a game. Advantage coming the way of the Southern Knights, just coming through too early, Rory Knott. And there's the little kick through, and they will come back.
He's taking the 9 out though, the 9's trying to come play the ball. Move to the side, not straight back. 6, roll sideways.
Long kick. Well, I'm looking at Theo and Nwosu Hope, and he's yelling at his pack, saying, come on, lads.
Harry Borthwick with a huge carry again. He is immensely important for the Southern Knights if they're going to get back into this game. Just shows you the importance of penalties. Stirling Wolves, they should have just allowed Southern Knights to clear. They would have had the line out, but instead conceded a silly penalty and suddenly find themselves with they're defending a line out just outside their own 22.
Eddie Pollock be looking just for a little bit more discipline from his side. 20 is young Ben Weir off the bench for the third time. Melrose player.
1's 9.
Well, Chris Bell trying to referee the game at the same time, indicating to the referee that side entry had occurred. The referee does not concur.
Next time it stops 9. Break off now.
Where? McNeish. Absolutely no way through for Callum Barrett. And Wozo Hope. It's good tackling. Marcus Holden trying to hold him up there. Good turnover. Not a clean exit there. It will be now. Callum Barrett will hope for a nice bounce. He didn't get one on the inside. That's a hard one for McNeish. We're still going to try and be adventurous here. Ashar was up quickly, had support from Bryce.
Away now, Stirling. Leave it now.
Well, this is the ethos of the Southern Knights side. If you can attack, you go for it. Jackson has a little look. Has he overcooked it? He has. That's just pressure.
He's kicked well, Jackson. I mean, that was only inches wrong, but it's an error, and that's been 2 or 3 errors now from Stirling Wolves. Discipline not quite what it should be, and it's just allowing the Southern Knights an entry point back into this game. And you feel if the Knights could get themselves over the try line again, 26 points to 20, there's suddenly a huge amount of pressure on Stirling Wolves.
2 points separate these sides in the FOSROC Super Series table. The visitors with the advantage, but it's the home side who lead. They have doubled up their opponents so far. And Wozo Hope with the take. Luke Thompson in at the back. Stopped once. There's the call of use it, Bell to McNeish. On the inside, there is no way through for Archie Hosking. Again, that's good tackling. Connor Gordon's outstanding. It's a little high for McNeish. He's not the tallest, but he made something of it. Rory Knott took him down. Bell again. There might be a gap here if they can get it out wide. Couldn't get it to Aidan Cross. The steal is good. Marcus Holden throwing it back. Bryce. James Pow. There's the little offload. Rory Knott, tap tackle, tries to get the ball away. Here's a phrase that hasn't been used before. Rory Knott on a hat-trick. He had dreams there.
Leave it now, White. Leave it now, White. Goes there, use it.
Connor Gordon has been told, leave it for Craig Jackson, who was in behind him.
The ball's there. No, don't put it into him. Leave it now, Knights, leave it now.
Jackson stumbled. Taken by Afshar. Now here's the opportunity. He's not had too much, Ryan Southern, but he's got great pace. And Ryan Southern under the posts. Well, he needs but a sniff of a chance. Ryan Southern, it's a 7th try, 21 appearances for the former Curry chieftain, and he was electric going through there.
He's a very difficult man to stop. He's strong. He runs some wonderful lines, but he just cut off his right foot there. It's a weak tackle. Just accelerated in under the post. But that all came from a Southern Knights line out on the Stirling Wolves 10-metre line. And they were going backwards. Again, that Stirling Wolves defence coming forward. And I felt that they probably should have kicked after 2 or 3 phases because they were going backwards. There was nothing on. Instead, they went wide, still in retreat. And, of course, then a difficult breakdown. It allowed, I think it was Connor Gordon, got hands in and stole the ball. And then from there, Stirling Wolves, clinical again, as they have been for most of this evening.
Well, that captures the momentum once more. The gap is 20 points. The smile of Ryan Southern when he knew he was through and clear and greeted by his teammates. Well, it's up to the Southern Knights again. Bruce just to dig in deep once more. half sharp. He is so reliable from these restarts, isn't he? Loves getting the ball, loves to be the man to take it and get the long, deep kick away.
And in previous seasons, I've at times been critical of Stirling Wolves trying to play from the restart, and again, similar to the first half, no messing about. If it goes to Ben Afshar, he's got a good kick and he just sends the ball up to halfway. The Southern Knights here, though, they just have to not lose momentum, because that try for Stirling Wolves, you've got to say, was against the run of play. The Knights getting themselves right back into this game. Just can't let their heads go down, keep fighting.
Alan Tate mentioned before the game that defence would be key, and they've just been let down on a couple of occasions. I should say they had the momentum, but once more the Wolves have wrestled it back, and Wozo Hook gets the touch, and that's great work by Pau coming through. There's the turnover, there's the clip kick over the shoulder. Difficult one for Barrett, he's going to be under pressure. Oh, he jinks away Heron, and then there was just no escaping Rooney Knox. McNeish. Hall. Terrible pass. Anderson dropped. There are times to clear your lines. In fact, it was Donald Crawford, I beg your pardon. Times to clear your lines. They are trying to almost attack from their own part of the field.
They did the same in the first half and got caught out on a couple of occasions, and that's clever by Ben Afshar, because he probably knows that's exactly what they're going to do. So he just put that kick over the top. It wasn't dealt with initially well by Barrett. There was a sniff of a turnover, but Southern Knights opting to play away from that instead of clearing. They're obviously feeling under pressure, that they've got to be the next side to score. But as you say, there are times to clear, and that was one of them, because they're now under a huge amount of pressure here, and if they concede again, I think the game is gone.
Crouch! Crouch! Bind! Set! Use it!
The scrum is steady. Ed Hansel from the back. Tried to get the offload. They've come through though. The advantage is there. Jackson, he'll try the little clip kick into the corner. Oh, the referee realised that had gone too far, and the penalty awarded.
The tackle. You're very lucky that he's dropping. Be very careful with that. You're lucky he's on the way down.
Well, it doesn't get much clearer than that. And they will go for the points.
I don't think he meant. But he's meant to use no arms. Yeah, he's lucky.
I was just trying to see who came off the side with the scrum for the Southern Knights. Was it Monroe? Job, perhaps, on this side of the scrum. It's they've made a change on there. But either way, he got off quite quickly, and he didn't allow Ed Hasdell to get ahead of steam up, because I thought if he'd managed to pick and get outside the back row, that was going to be a very difficult tackle for the Southern Knights back division.
Fairly simple stuff there from Marcus Holding. 36-13, and the bright start by the visitors has been largely extinguished. Yeah, it was Archie Hosking that came through.
Time out.
Harris Rutherford introduced. Gregor McNeish withdrawn. That didn't really go to plan, did it?
Not the best start, no.
Just come this way a bit, that's horrible.
That is not your dream introduction to the game.
We'll get here.
Eddie Pollock will be delighted with the way that his side have been ruthless when they've had the opportunities to score. After, I mean, we keep mentioning, people are just joining us, that early blip of a start, but they've been terrific since then.
They really have, yes. 3 wasted opportunities from a malfunctioning line out at the start, but ever since then, they've taken points. I think every time they have got themselves into the Southern Knights 22, and you can see that reflected on the scoreboard. They've lost their last 2, but you know, you think that may have dented their confidence, but when they're playing here at home at Bridgehaugh, they're just filled with confidence. They love playing here.
Yeah, they won 7 of the last 10 at home prior to the loss back on the 18th of October to Hidiots. They'd won 4 on the bounce on their home turf. And the scrum not being fooled again. Ashar from Hadsell. Pass on the outside. It's all about the pass, couldn't get it away. And there's the knock on. Cross then stabs it forward. Hadsell. They'll come back for the knock on.
Yeah, I think it was just a knock on as well. Looks like that to me.
Didn't think there was anything nefarious about it. 1 or 2 in the stands might not agree.
And the Wolves very nearly created space down this stand side touchline. Not entirely sure who ran the short line, but it attracted the attention of the Southern Knights defence, and it just created a little bit of space. And if the hands had been slightly better, there was a hint of a 2-on-1 for Stirling Wolves, just right down in front of our commentary position here.
Crouch! Crouch! Bind! Set!
Referee Perham's had a good game tonight. Going through his crouch, bind, set. And the next instruction after that is usually penalty South Africa. Might be too soon for some of our English friends. Wow, that's going to be a knock on. It banged into his body. There's nothing you can do about it. Marcus Holden is having just a little word from the referee. There's 1 or 2 that are trying to referee the game a little bit too much for his liking. Eric Davey comes on.
It was just drilled through there. It was always going to be difficult for Callum Barrett to handle. I think on balance, the Stirling Wolves back 3 have probably coped a little better with the conditions and the kicking. I don't think Ross McKnight enjoyed the first couple of kicks down his channel, but since then, especially with Glenn Bryce at the back, they've looked very secure.
Yeah, great experience. Glenn Bryce, the 32-year-old former Scotland Sevens player, former Glasgow Warrior. Just has all the experience that you want.
Crouch. Bind. Ready. Set.
Well, they've come out quickly. Had to get out quicker. It's a lovely little pass back on the inside. Heron, not too many chances to run. The jackal that came in there from Gary Young, but he couldn't get on the ball. Telesitis is one of these players you would term a big lad, using his body well. And a word for Joe Roberts as well. 16-year-old wearing 16's been great. Now that's going to go high and out onto the side. Here's the opportunity to get things moving. Sam Rocklick, ball on the inside. And the try is given. Well, it was excellent play again from the Stirling Wolves. Good supporting play. And the Southern Knights had no answer in the corner once more. And Glenn Bryce helps himself to a second try of the evening. And this match, you would reckon now, is sewn up really tight by the the Stirling Wolves. They've done well.
Yes, Rockley just in the field of play, breaking the first tackle, showing his power, and then keeping the ball alive in difficult conditions. Cuts inside, gets the ball into his left arm, and Glenn Bryce still keeping the ball in 2 hands, just using his eyes to try and distract the defence. He goes over for his second try. He had a really good outing at fullback for Stirling Wolves, but again it was through the hard work of the pack. Connor Gordon to the fore with a good carry just outside the 22. And again, they're just forcing the Southern Knights defence onto the back foot, but you feel that the fight is now perhaps gone out of the Southern Knights.
Well, it's a 30-point advantage. There's Rockley breaking the tackle. Bryce, well, he had Mikey Heron inside him, didn't need him, went over the line.
Craig Jackson coming off just in front of us as well. He's had a good night at standoff.
Yeah, confirming the changes for you. Bell in quickly. Young. 17 is Donald Voss, the strength and conditioning coach from Biggar. 22, Harris Rutherford. And 23, Hamish Bentley. The bench for the Knights has been emptied. Rutherford trying to get past Ryan Southerm. 18 is Alex Dodds. We'll call the hairstyle distinctive. Rutherford. Well, got it off onto Luke Thompson, but repelled again. Rutherford, little stutter step, dragged down by Tom Smith. Wasn't originally slated to start the game, but he's done so well. Gary Young takes it forward. Bell, Hall. Alex Dodge trying to support there. Out whips through Rutherford. That's outrageous. Now here's Borthwick. Borthwick tries to run through his man. He's still going, Borthwick. Well, he just ran through Eric Davey. Now back on the inside. Sam Derrick. Good to see him back as well.
Oh, it's white on the ball.
Eric Davey is certainly hurt. He's down at the moment. The replacement scrum half. Luke Thompson. Alan Tate will have demanded fight from his bench. It's exactly what he's getting. Hall tries to go through, held up by Holden. Manages to get his knee down. Alex Dodds, there's the pass. Rutherford tries to time it. Great take, and it's got the pace, it's got the power, and he's got all the way over Aidan Cross. Well, he's a top try scorer as Aidan Cross. That's now 14 and 29 for the Southern Knights, and he romped his way over the line.
That's a great try by Aidan Cross, and he's at his best when he comes looking for work off his right wing. See that ball pulled out the back door, and then just the replacement, Harris Rutherford, just hitting the inside shoulder, turning the defender's hips in. And then it was a difficult pass for Cross to take at pace, scooped it up with his left arm, and goes over in the corner. And that all coming initially from the run of Harry Borthwick. I think if Southern Knights had 3 or 4 Harry Borthwicks in their pack, it might have been a different story perhaps, because he has put his side on the front foot when he's had ball in hand, but still the Knights' defence in the main being driven back by the Wolves' defence.
Well, Eric Davies okay. He'll be seeing Harry Borthwick in his dreams tonight. He just ran through him. Typical scrum half. You know you're smaller, you know you don't have the weight advantage, but you're going to be stubborn. And as the kick goes through, that's a good one by Harris Rutherford, because you want to make the tackle for your side.
Okay, time's still rolling. He's come on.
Yes, that was nice by Harris Rutherford. Made that look simple. Just turned the defender's hips. I'm glad to see Eric Davey is okay. I think he got his head on the wrong side of Harry Borthwick, and it was a big carry by Borthwick. It looked nasty, but yes, good to see him walking off and sitting just down in front of us.
He's up and about. Ben Afshar is back on. It wasn't in the actual scoring move. I think it was in the move just beforehand, but the pass from Harris Rutherford, which was from behind his back, was one of the best pieces of skill you will see.
It was superb, yes.
Driving forward, George Breeze. Afshar loses out. Archie Hosking does well. Hosking on the inside. Donald Voss loves a little rumble as well. Chris Bell sends it long. Penny Anderson chasing. It's a good take by Heron. He'll get it back again. And that's going to go out of play.
Cool play by Glenn Bryce at the back again. He knew he couldn't get the kick away himself and just invited the defender onto him. Gave the ball to Heron, but Heron didn't get his kick right at all.
The FOSROC Super Series produces some great rugby. I mean, we've had, what, 9 tries. It averages 8.3. How you score 0.3 of a try, I'm not sure, but that's the average. You know, the Southern Knights looked like they were dead and buried, but you can see that they're just going for it once more.
I think one of us said at the start that there wouldn't be many tries tonight.
Well, 50-50 chance, and I can tell you it wasn't me.
It's been very entertaining so far, and I think there's still a bit more to come in this closing 10 minutes.
Trying to sneak through, there was a little gap, but it's been closed. Bell, Rutherford spots a little gap. It was well held. Decided not to throw the pass, which was the right idea. Crawford tries to break from the back, pops it out. There's Anderson. Again, good cover defence. Borthwick. Solid tackling. Sean MacDonald wearing 19. Rutherford tries a little dump pass back on the inside. Dodds waits for it. Dodds can't control it. The advantage is over, it's been kicked away. It's great running by Glenn Bryce. Absolutely no way through for Cross. Crawford. Referee was happy that the tackle was clean and the ball was presented well. Archie Hosking possibly is the dirtiest white jersey on the field. Harry Borthwick might rival him, he's right there. Bell gets it away, Afshar waits for it, opens it out, Afshar immediately goes in there, try to help out Ewan Cunningham off the bench. It's been knocked forward. And again, you know, Stirling Wolves here, Bruce, could be forgiven for, you know, not quite sticking up the jumper with 10 minutes to go. You know, just see the game out. But the way they play, the way Eddie Pollock wants them to play, is they want to see good running rugby at all time, and they want to add to their try score.
It's just in their mindset, it's their DNA to play that sort of rugby, and it's great to see them still trying to do that, because you're right, they could just keep kicking. Well, I'm saying they keep kicking it. They did just kick it down there, but they're looking to play from that. There's a purpose behind that, and it was a great chase by Glenn Bryce. Made the tackle.
Well, Harris Rutherford, what an introduction he's had to the game, and with one of the best pieces of skill you will see on a rugby field. I would say this weekend, this month, this year. Watch that. There's the little behind the back pass. That is a work of art.
Accuracy superb. Well, you can see there that Eric Davey did unfortunately get his head on the wrong side, and he's such an athlete, Harry Borthwick. He was going at pace, but yeah, that was he's had a really good introduction, as you say. That was his first involvement, the flick out there, and then for the try, just simple hands, but he's straightened enough, hit the inside shoulder of the defender just to say turn him in and create the space outside, because there wasn't much of a gap in the defence.
I don't know about you, Bruce, I had enough trouble trying to pass the ball properly, let alone trying to flick it.
I always had trouble trying to pass the ball properly. I generally didn't bother passing it. It was easier to just carry it and let other people do that.
Bind. Set.
Went backwards, Chris Bell. There's Rutherford. Conventional pass this time. There's the loop around. Now the long ball out looking for Anderson. Just couldn't gather. Well, rugby's not for the faint of heart, and I'll tell you what, these two teams are bludgeoning each other. It's great stuff.
It's been physical as well. A nice little slider play there with Harris Rutherford giving the pass and then running behind, and like a Johnny Sexton type play took it, but in the end he had two options. He had, I think, Crawford running short and the winger out wide, and I think he picked the wrong one probably there. You could see, I think he got a bit of a look from Donald Crawford. He felt that he should have hit the fullback.
Got the ball away, there's it on the inside. This is great play. And Tom Smith taken into touch. Ben Afshar.
Picking it away.
Yeah, the referee got the right call. but he just put the arm up on the wrong side. He corrects himself. Ben Afshar, that's probably...
It was going to be a nice line out. They're trying to get the ball, and Nine's kicked it away.
Yeah, that's probably the naughtiest thing we've seen this evening from that point of view.
He's had a good game as well, but yes, a little naughty, but good to see, again, the Wolves trying to keep the ball alive. Tom Smith and James Pout, the 2 second rows involved there. Not an awful lot of space, just offloading the ball, but eventually running out of space.
As a former member of the Scrum Halves Club, a very low level, you can always rely on your scrum half to do something silly during a game.
Are all scrum halves not a low level, or is that not what you meant by low level? A different sort of low level, but yes, if you're looking for something naughty, it's going to be your scrum half, isn't it?
Lower to the ground than most
That's
players.
What I thought you meant, of course.
Absolutely.
Still moving.
Well, of course, in terms of trying to get into the playoffs, a try bonus point here would do a really good trick for the Knights. They need to cross the line once more. All points gratefully accepted.
Okay, let's go now.
At the moment, they would trail their opponents. We'll show you the table at the end. There's no way through for Hamish Bentley with a black scrum cap on. There's 23. Bell tries to fight his way through. We've got just under 6 minutes to try and find that bonus point try. Stirling Wolves will be well aware of the intentions of the men from the Green Yards. Now here's the opportunity for Archie Hosking. And Southerm and Marcus Holding in close. Dodds went past him. Rutherford. Bentley runs the line. James Pow holds on. Weir, a little pass on the inside. Sam Derrick in there as well. Rutherford. Anderson and Hall. Rutherford, cross, trying to get a low pass, but it didn't come to him. Again, good defence by the men in red and black. Crawford thought there was a gap, and he runs into Tom Smith. Does well to present the ball back onto Bell. Bell on the inside. Gary Young wears 24. Gary Young, the 23-year-old. Jed Forrest man. It's another good, solid tackle. There's a little chip over, looking for Cross. Doinked him on the head. He felt he was being tackled before he could collect. The referee did not agree. There's the counter ruck. That's strong by Borthwick. Borthwick was then held. And then Borthwick has a little go. Was it Marcus Holden? It was. As the ball has been kicked out on the full. I was following Borthwick and Holden there. They were having a little interchange, shall we say. There's a little chip over. Well, the timing from Ed Hansdale had to be perfect, and the referee, Bruce, said it was.
We'll go with what the referee said then. I think he probably was just about right. It was marginal, but yes, got that call right.
Yeah, bang bang play.
That almost worked out for Stirling Wolves. Glenn Bryce with that crossfield kick, and it was only just too far.
Borthwick takes. They congeal around the ball. Moving now, Luke Thompson. Now they'll try and get things going. They're looking for the fourth try, which would be a bonus point, which may prove to be very vital. Southern Knights host Heriots next week. It's turning into a must-win for them. Buttermere Bears will host the Stirling Wolves as that gets played through, but there was a knock-on. And just a little bit of tempers flaring. Harry Borthwick involved, Ed Hadsell, James Powell.
Come on. I see a knock on from you guys on the floor, try and pick it up.
In terms of your player of the match, Bruce, there's been quite a few contenders, but who would you be selecting?
Well, you said you were a former scrum half. I was a former flanker, and so I would like to give it to somebody like a Connor Gordon, who I think has had a wonderful reintroduction after 3 weeks out. I'm getting some thumbs up from further along, but he's going to be disappointed when I don't give it to Connor Gordon. He's been excellent, but the whole pack has been good. And so I found it difficult to probably give it to any of them, so I've gone instead with Glenn Bryce. He's just been a really calming presence at the back for his side on a night when it could have gone wrong. Just very assured, he's kicked well, he's chased, he's tackled, and 2 tries to cap it off a great performance.
Picking the player of the match is a bit like being the referee. There's always someone who'll disagree with you. It's been a good game. 90 seconds to go. Can the Southern Knights find their way to a try bonus? Stirling Wolves trying to repel them. The scrum is a little bit of a mess, shall we say. And in this case, it's the Southern Knights who can't get the ball out. And that should be a red card. Mikey Heron has just come straight into the back of his man. Hamish Bentley has come across. And the referee, well, there's punches being thrown. There's scrum caps flying. Well, to my mind, certainly Mikey Heron was the instigator there. He came in and he blindsided his opponent, which I think was Harry Borthwick. And it's caused a real ruckus. There's a jersey being thrown out as well. And the referee is going to have to try and calm things down here. Well, Mikey Heron had his jersey pulled from him. I think he's going to be a lucky boy if he stays on this field. Here's what happened. Now Borthwick emerges with the ball. Ben Afshar just pushes away Ben Afshar. And then out of absolutely nowhere, well, that'd be a red card for me. Well, Ben Afshar is off. Harry Borthwick is also on a yellow card.
Back 10, please, lads. I'll have a word on the way to line out, okay? I'll speak to you.
I'm not so sure. I need to see that again to see why Harry Borthwick got the yellow card. He looked innocent in all of that. He was trying to pick the ball up from a fast retreating scrum, which is never much fun. We're going to have another look at it here.
Well, Borthwick's there and Asher. Now the hands go out. I'm sorry, it's that push, blindside an opponent. That to me is a red card.
I think probably a yellow for me, but either way, it merited a card. I'm still trying to see exactly what happened in the fracas here that resulted in Borthwick going off as well. He's been angry in the last 5 minutes, just frustrated by how this game has panned out, and he's been good for the Southern Knights.
Well, it's a bit of a sour note for the game to end on, but I think if you blindside an opponent by putting both hands on their back, they don't see it coming. That to me, I would have put him off, but Johnny Perriam knows what he's doing. And the last action of the game is going to be the Stirling Wolves on the attack. Liam Quorm. There's the penalty.
Let go, rebound.
The rebinding simply not allowed.
Well done. Marcus, time is up, so you're aware. Yeah. It's up to you what you want to do.
Well, time is up. Marcus Holding is going to boot that in our direction. And it's a big night at Bridgehaugh for the Stirling Wolves. They have taken care of the Southern Knights. It got a little bit testy towards the end, but it's handshakes all round. And Bruce Millar, it was an entertaining game of rugby.
That was a cracking game of rugby. It really was, from a Southern Knights perspective. Still some positive signs as they developed from a very shaky start to the season. They played well in patches, but they lost the physical battle for me out with that first 15 minutes when they played well, and too many handling errors. There were always going to be handling errors in the conditions tonight, but the Stirling Wolves coped better all round with the conditions. I say their forwards, I think, won that battle up front. They were clinical again after a very shaky start for them. I think very deserving in the end of that win.
Well, half-time, the Southern Knights were in a great deal of trouble. They trailed by 26 points to 8. They had to score the first try of the second half, and that's exactly what they managed to do to try and get back into the contest. Taken by Borthwick. Luke Thompson, not long on the field, was in at the back, and it's one of these rolling mauls, Bruce, that's hard to stop, and he just showed great power and got a bit of assistance as well.
It was well set. They'd had one a few minutes before half-time where they didn't get set properly. The Stirling Wolves defence disrupted it, but on that occasion, much better.
And we did wonder, you know, if they got that first score, that cut it to 26 points to 13, whether they could just go on. And you could see the intent in which they came out and the pace they started the second half.
And they had all the momentum. I even said it, if they can get themselves another try, which I expected them to, and get to 26-20. But then again, just some errors costing them.
A lot of hard work there. Good control by the referee. And then in good position to give the score. Well, the Southern Knights had won 4 of the 9 meetings. Stirling had won 3. There have been 2 draws between these two teams, but the Wolves simply weren't going to let their opponents back in. And Ryan Southern didn't get a lot of chances to run, but when he gets that chance, I think you mentioned the tackling might have not been Stirling, but just the way he just moves his feet quickly, spotted the gap, dropped on the inside, and realised he was clear.
The defence just a bit disjointed there. Maybe see it better from this angle. They're fairly tight there. Big spaces out wide, and I think Gregor McNeish, the captain, maybe caught in 2 minds as to whether he should defend further out and didn't quite get his angles right. But Ryan Southern, yeah, that tackle should be made for me. However, Ryan Southern, he's low to the ground, he's stocky, he's strong, and he's very quickly into his running. Well,
the Stirling Wolves had already got their try bonus point, but they were just trying to keep their opponents at bay and rack up the scoreline. They had the penalty advantage here, and again, just good little work. There's the chip into the corner. It was just too far, but they would take the penalty from here and just take the points. Ed Hadsell again was at the heart of the action.
Yes, I think I said at the time, if Archie Hosking hadn't come off the side with the scrum there and stopped him, he had a run at one of the backs, but Harry Borthwick just coming in, no arms, and giving away the penalty.
Glenn Bryce getting involved in the action, and there was some real hard work coming in there from Sam Rockley, and Bryce, well, he realised he had the line at his mercy for his second try, the 6th try of the evening for the home side. Again, nice quick hands from Holden, the looping pass. Sam Rockley from a standing start's never easy for a winger, but he showed his power.
Yes, his first involvement in the game, I think, after his introduction. Just getting outside the winger there. It's the hitch kick. And got the ball into his left arm. Just rolled it off nicely to his fullback, Glenn Bryce. There's still a bit of work to do, but he said at the time, keeping the ball in 2 hands, he just used his eyes to make the last defender think he might give that ball inside. And over he goes.
And with a conversion successful, that was a 43 points to 13 lead after 64 minutes. Well, the Southern Knights wanted a response, and they got it through Aidan Cross. Lovely run from the 22, and with 13 minutes to go, well, we wondered if the Southern Knights would find their way to a try bonus point, but credit the Wolves, they just shut the door on the Southern Knights from there on in.
Really good by Harris Rutherford, but Aidan Cross, as he's done all season, just popping up, looking for work, coming off his right wing, just running off the shoulder of Harris Rutherford there. There wasn't much space in the defence, and you can see there just Harris Rutherford hits the inside shoulder of the defender there, creates the space for Aidan Cross, but he had a lot of work to do, too much gas for Glenn Bryce.
Well, it's a big win for the Stirling Wolves, defeating the Southern Knights by 43 points to 20. Tomorrow, well, two of the top three, they'll be in the playoffs. Heriots Rugby and Watsonians go head to head at Golden Acre. It'll be tasty, it always is when those two get together. The FOSROC Future 15 still looking for their first win of the tournament. They face up the Ayrshire Bulls. That's tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock. Well, the win this evening has meant there's been a change. Stirling Wolves overtaken the Southern Knights, and there was the importance of trying to get that final try bonus point. The Southern Knights denied. The Stirling Wolves 3 points ahead of the Southern Knights, and as it stands after round 13, or the start of it, Heriots, Ayrshire, Watsonians and Stirling Wolves would be in the playoffs, but the Southern Knights have it all to do next week against Heriots, while the Stirling Wolves come to Edinburgh and they will play the Boroughmuir Bears. And that is the live fixture. We will be at the Green Yards next week, the home of the Southern Knights. It's a must-win game when they face the current leaders, Heriots Rugby. That will be tasty next Friday from the Green Yards. Do not miss that. Well, what a night it has been at Bridgehaugh. The Stirling Wolves doing what they had to do at home. They've now won 7 of the last 11 at home. From everybody here, from all the team, the Stirling Wolves defeating the Southern Knights. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.